Hey everybody, welcome to Ballbuster Video. This time around, since we're a little behind, we're going to do a back-to-back review. We're going to probably lightly touch on our feelings of each of these movies because we don't want this to last like hours. So, the first one we're going to start with is Exorcist: The Beginning.
Yes.
And if you know the Exorcist franchise, if it's anything than just The Exorcist,
It's bad.
it's a bad movie, which is terrible, but it is what it is.
And folks, I'm going to be honest with you from the beginning. I have a very busy schedule. I tried to get as much of these movies in as I could.
Yeah.
The Exorcist Begins, I've seen a couple times before. Jason X only once. The Exorcist Begins, I'm more being a fan of the original Exorcist. I have suffered through the sequels and prequels. So I will try to keep on topic with this. Try to remember as much as I can. I will try not to go off topic.
Yeah. Well, I know this one, it still has to do with Pazuzu. And,
But the devil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in this one, though, they kind of make it sound like Pazuzu is a different entity all on its own, and it's not the devil. And I'm like, no, it was the devil. It always was the devil.
Yeah, if you watch the original Exorcist, when Father Merrin shows up,
yes,
and the one priest goes, I think there's an issue, there's multiple demons inside her, and he goes, there's only one.
Yeah. There's only one. Pazuzu. It sounds like a discount pizza shop.
Which is, Father Merrin fights the devil. This one went through so much hell. This was...
Yes, it was many different directors had their fingers in this.
Yeah. In fact, they actually released the original copy. It's called Dominion, prequel to The Exorcist.
Yes, which was slightly better than this.
Yeah, but...
It did slightly better in the theaters, but it still wasn't great.
And as far as the one part where I thought the whole movie itself, prequel, the one that it got a straight to DVD release, prequel.
Right.
Okay. What happened was the director turned in what turned out to be prequel, or Dominion prequel to The Exorcist. All right. And the studio said, no, we don't want that. That's not what we want.
Yeah, we don't want it to be psychologically. We want this to actually be, like, bloody and disgusting this time around.
We want it to be, almost like Saw.
Almost like a slasher flick.
Yeah. And the director said, no. You watch the original Exorcist, that's not... Yes, the original Exorcist has its moments.
It has disgusting stuff, but yeah, it's not like...
But most of the movie is psychological if you watch it.
And it doesn't have some of the nasty shit that was in this one that did not need to be in there.
Oh, yeah. So that prequel to... I know this gets confusing. Dominion, prequel to the Exorcist movie, went straight to DVD. The only part I did not like was the last, he's down in the cave system, or the excavation site.
Sacrificial chamber under a church.
Yeah. Where the devil fell to earth.
Yes.
He fell from heaven to earth.
He got trapped in there.
Yeah. That is, when, in the straight to DVD copy, the ending fight between Merrin and the devil was not good.
No.
I thought the ending fight in Exorcist Begins was not good either.
No.
But it made a little bit more sense because in the prequel, the straight to DVD copy, the devil looks like an alien.
Yeah.
Like one of the Greys.
Yeah.
And in,
I didn't piece that together, but now you said it. Yeah. I see where you're coming from.
And in the theatrical release, which was called Exorcist Begins.
Yeah.
It looks like Reagan from The Exorcist.
Which, of course, they did that.
Yeah, which, makes more...
But there was no pea soup, so...
No pea soup. She's hanging off the walls of the cave and going, Father, Merrin, and all that. Crawling on the walls of the cave, and you're just like, oh, God, just get her getting off. And
I just love, like, when you watch through it, you can really tell where they just shoved in the shit that didn't need to be there.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, when he goes to that one, I guess it was an insane asylum because he wanted to talk to that one priest.
Yeah.
And it's like, to make sure that you got the idea that he was now evil, he gets up and has a swastika carved into his chest.
Yeah.
And then he just, like, spouts some exposition and then just cuts himself with a sharp object. And I'm like, last time I checked, they don't let insane people have sharp objects in their rooms, nor are their rooms the size of a small police academy.
Right. Yeah, and this movie did take, it did take, the setting of it was after World War II, because that whole thing where he's got to pick, the Nazi makes him pick the people.
Yep. Because that was why he lost his faith.
Yeah.
Because, when he was a priest back then, the Nazis like, you choose which one dies, and he just points to a kid.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you could have picked an adult. It's more your fault for picking the most traumatic thing you could have chose.
He's got elderly people there that have lived a full life, and he's like, 9-year-old.
That kid. Kill that kid. And the old guys are probably standing there like, just kill me. I've had a good life. Yeah. I'm free. I'm ready to die. Kid.
As I recall, the elderly, when they got the lineup, the elderly people in line, like, stand up and are, like, ready for them to choose them. Like, put their chest out.
Because they do. They're like, like they get this look like, I'm ready, I know it's gonna be me. And the kids just sitting there like crying, and just like, that one.
This little wuss right here.
He was just like, what?
So the old guy's like, I've got hemorrhoids the size of grapefruits, I'm miserable.
Yeah.
I'm the full
you can even kind of
man.
see on the Nazi's face for like a quick second, he's just like, okay. Like, what, really? You sure? Yes, I'm trying to make this the worst possible scenario. So because of that, he loses his faith.
As I recall, and the movie tried to have a twist, and it was just stupid, bland. It felt measured. Like, didn't you think the little black kid was possessed?
Yes, I thought so.
Yeah, like they try to lead you to believe this little black kid is possessed, and it turns out it's the woman nurse who is flirting with a priest, which
not a good call.
Yeah.
So I also love when they because he gets hired by the church to go and investigate this.
Yeah, well, right? He's down there excavating. Yeah, they send him.
That's right. He became a digger.
Yeah, an
archaeologist. Yeah, a digger. God damn it. Yeah, he became an archaeologist, and then the church wants him to investigate this. And then he goes to the church with his partner or whatever, and they had to like break in to get into the sacrificial chamber because it's all sealed up, and there's birds down there somehow.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, how'd those crows get in here, and how are they still alive?
To me, that's like a telltale sign, like, I'd shit my pants right there and go, nope.
Yeah.
As soon as they start saying, like, this is the place where the devil fell to earth, and, the fact that, birds flew out of there, I'm like, done.
Yeah.
Done. Look, I'm Catholic, all right?
Right.
I'm not, as soon as you start saying that shit, I'm out. I'm checking out.
Yeah.
I'm
Well, plus the other thing that I thought was kind of funny was that, like, the devil was locked in this chamber, but he was also strong enough to break a crucifix, attach a chain to it, and hang it from the ceiling upside down. So he couldn't have broken through a brick wall, which they did to get in there.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know if it was.
It just seemed weird to me.
Here's another thing I don't understand. There's mentions of the devil throughout history.
Yes.
Okay. Jewish faith, Christian faith, whatever. There's mentions of the devil throughout history. So he's inside the chamber from the beginning of time before, because as far as I know, it was really, it wasn't too far into the whole creation situation in the Bible before God cast Satan from heaven.
Gabriel, down in the...
Yeah, what he does to... Well, Gabriel's a different angel.
Oh, wait, yeah, I'm sorry.
Gabriel's the one that
I'm getting the wrong
comes
angels.
to Mary.
Yeah.
But Lucifer is his name.
Right.
And he's pissed, he's jealous and pissed that God is paying so much attention to humans and questions God and turns on God.
Yeah.
And God casts him down, he casts him from heaven.
Yeah, it's very similar to the Greek versions of Zeus and Hades.
Yeah. So...
Because Hades was getting jealous of Zeus paying all his attention to humans, and he's like, well, I banish you down there you're going to live under the ground and be their tormentor for the ones that do wrong. It's just like, damn it!
So, how is he, if he's in there the whole time, how does everyone else, how does he,
Yeah.
Satan comes to Jesus in the Bible and tempts him before, the whole crucifixion angle.
I don't know.
So what, he could sometimes come up out of the chamber,
Yeah.
do what he's got to do, and then return back down.
He gets a coffee break.
Yeah. Like, did he tunnel out? Like Andy Dufresne from Shawshank Redemption?
I wish I could tell you Satan won the good fight. I wish I could tell you.
I don't. So there's a lot with this movie. This movie could have been so much.
It could have been a pretty good, like, prequel, like, setup for the actual Exorcist movie.
Yeah.
But, and then we said before, they jammed all this, like, disgusting shit in there. There's, like, a scene where a woman's giving birth to a maggot-covered fetus.
Yeah. And it's like...
And then it just snaps away from that. And I'm like, what the fuck did that have to do with anything?
The hyenas... Did you see
the horrible CG hyenas?
Oh, my God.
They looked so bad.
They were like PS1 graphics coming flying out of that.
And somebody in post was like, good. Those look good. I believe it's a fucking dog.
Yeah. Looks like a dog to me.
Looks like a fucking hyena, whatever.
Yeah, go with it. So, yeah, it really, you see, and as far as the story is concerned, like I said, you see little glimmers, the whole Nazi thing, alright, this is where, you know, Satan got cast down Earth, alright. Right. But everything else is just garbage. Crap.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So, if I was gonna grade this movie, probably a 3.
Because I'm a fan of The Exorcist, the original, and because I was actually at the time looking forward to this movie. I was like, they are going to get it right this time. I know it. They're going to get it right.
No.
This isn't going to be Exorcist 2, or Exorcist 2, the Heretic, or Exorcist 3.
Oh my God. You know what? Now that you mentioned that, I'm going to at least give this probably a 5. Just because it did not have James Earl Jones in a cricket warrior suit. Fucking locust suit.
Or poor, what's his name? The guy who played Patton.
Yes.
In the third one.
Yes.
In the mental ward where they find the priest who jumped out the window in the first one.
Yes.
Is still alive.
Yeah. It's like, what?
And the Catholic Church hid him in a mental ward, hid him away.
Son of a bitch.
So, yeah, I was like, this one's gonna be the good Exorcist. It's gonna be The Exorcist Begins, and you know, The Exorcist, we're gonna start a whole new, it's gonna be a great movie, it's gonna redeem the franchise.
Right.
No. And I went and saw it in the theater.
So
on my birthday.
What do you give it?
I give it a 1 out of 10.
You give it a 1?
Just because it strikes close to home. I have a personal bias against this movie.
I mean, I love The Exorcist. It's over there in my horror movies. Yep. It's one of I watch it every year around this time.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I guess I love it, but I'm not like a huge fan that I, like, when I saw this, I got, like, offended. But at the same time, I was just like, this is terrible. Like, how could you take something, like, that was so simple to begin with, how they did that. And it's based off, like, documented events.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just come up with this.
Close to here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Emmitsburg, down by Emmitsburg, Maryland. Do the research.
Yeah. So, like, that based off actual events like that, and then you turn it into, like, this whimsical bullshit. Mm-hmm. So, whatever.
Yeah. You probably heard my stomach gurgle there. That's because, once again, I mentioned in the last podcast, these movies are making me physically ill.
All right. Well, speaking of being physically ill, then, since we gave that a rating, we got to go right into the next one.
Oh,
it's Jason X.
This one probably
or Jason 10.
Probably strikes more close.
Yes, I'm a huge Jason fan.
Okay.
Yes.
So The Exorcist strikes close home to me.
Yep.
This one's going to strike close
for me. So, I want to start off right away with this, with, the part that made no sense to me. was, this movie, when, somehow they managed to capture Jason, and he's in his humanish form. He's not really a, zombie creature anymore.
Okay.
and Kane Hodder's playing him in this movie.
Okay.
And the makeup work they did for him was completely fucking terrible. It was horribly fucking terrible.
But they did the new high-tech Jason. Like, I remember that.
That's later. We're not there yet. I'm not. That's where I'm going to get angry.
Okay.
So, this, well, no, I'm sorry. He does still have some kind of thing because he does still have some kind of abilities, because the reason they captured him was this company wanted to, take his cellular structure and try to find out how he regenerates himself so quickly from being harmed. And the other person, the woman in it that is the other main character that goes through the movie, she wanted him to be basically cryogenically frozen so that he wouldn't be able to hurt anybody anymore, because this is like the futurist future, kind of where you have cryogenically freezable pods and shit like that. So, of course, Jason gets loose. He kills, like, the people. He kills most of all the businessmen because they're all bad and evil. And then, through a series of ridiculous events of him trying to kill the woman and, her outwitting him, he ends up going into the cryogenic pod. But that's not before he then stabs his machete through about 5 inches of thick steel, penetrating her and releasing the cryogenic freeze out into the room, so it freezes her in place too.
Yeah.
The movie then cuts to 400 years. Well, it doesn't say 400 years, but it then cuts to a future where space travel is almost as regular as driving your car from here to the grocery store.
Okay.
So in my mind, that's about 400 years time, probably. And in that time, there hasn't been one person, not a homeless man, not just like an urban explorer or anything, that went into this fucking building and found those two sitting there. 400 years.
This sounds a lot like Leprechaun in Space.
Yes, it does. And that's funny, because when I watched Leprechaun in Space for the first time, I was like, God damn it.
They're just taking the same plot.
Yeah, they did the same
Didn't
fucking
they come
thing.
out the roughly same time, too? Like, you think Hollywood execs were like, Leprechaun in Space?
Yeah, I think like Leprechaun was maybe like a year. See, the funny thing is, Leprechaun in Space was either before or after this. So it either started the bell curve or it finished it.
It was after.
Was it after?
Yeah, because they did Leprechaun in the Hood. Leprechaun in Space is like the most recent one. Remember
Leprechaun in Space made Leprechaun in the Hood look good.
Yeah, I think what Leprechaun 1, Leprechaun 2, Leprechaun 3, Leprechaun 4, Leprechaun in the Hood, and then Leprechaun back in the Hood. So Leprechaun 6
to the Hood.
Leprechaun 6 would be Leprechaun in Space, so.
Yeah. So this group of space explorer people, they never really explain who they are, but it's like it's a college professor that has his students with him, and they're just going down on a completely apocalyptic Earth to just root through a fucking ruined building, I guess.
And so they stumble upon
Jason and, of course, the woman. So they take them all on the ship, because, of course, that's the dumbest thing you could do. And, they have, like, these nanobot technologies that can piece people back together, so that's how they bring the woman back to life. But Jason just stalls on a table, and he's just fine. There's, like, the woman in the room's, like, doing, like, she's trying to, like, cut his mask off, and, she's like, oh, that's not... Well, yeah, she gets it off, she's like, oh, you're ugly, and puts the mask back on, and then just, like, turns her back, and he just, like, sits up.
Yeah.
She doesn't hear that at all, either. Part. He just sits up and just, like, looks over, shoves her head in some fucking, like, goo that freezes it and smashes it on the table. All the while that this death scene's going on, it's cutting in and out to the college professor getting his nipples twisted by one of the students that's, like, trying to get an A, so she's, like, fucking him at the same time. Because,
I recall this part
because it's a Friday the 13th movie, so you gotta have ridiculous, stupid sex scenes and disgusting fucking people that you don't care about. So I don't know why, like, that's the funny thing, in this whole movie, there's not a single fucking character you really care about. So when that's like, they're gonna get killed, you're like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I don't care. And then, and that's the funny thing, like, when they bring him in, the college professor realizes who he is. Somehow, 400 years later, they know who Jason Voorhees is. He hasn't killed anybody in 400 years, but his legacy is still that popular that you just find a frozen mongoloid man with a hockey mask, and you're like, that's Jason. Well, I read all about it. All those books that got saved during the Great Sandstorm Apocalypse.
Yeah.
So he calls up this guy, and they're like, it's a weird ass scene too, because like he makes this video call, and it's just like this old anorexic looking man just laying in his bed.
Yeah.
He's like, "Fuck you for calling me at this hour."
Yeah.
And he's like, "We found him." Who? Jason. The guy's like, Jason Voorhees, because he's that popular.
He's a regular legend.
You say a first name, and everybody's like, Jason Voorhees. So they strike up this deal, and that's why this makes the college professor evil now, because he's going to do it for money.
Yeah.
Because, money's the root of all evils.
Did he look like the old guy from Prometheus? Wayland, the charge of Wayland Industries?
He looked a little better than Wayland. But
I was going to say, all movies are just robbing from Jason X.
Yeah. So then, of course, Jason's on his killing spree. And not to mention, there's also a student on this ship that made a robot android.
Mm-hmm.
It's like his love android as well, and he was trying to give her nipples, and they kept falling off because that's funny.
I think I recall this as well. Yeah. I watched this movie insanely drunk.
It's probably a good thing to do. So Jason's then killing people, and there's a security team on the ship led by the coolest black man in the world named Brodsky. That's the best action name ever. And him and his team.
Well, hold on. Best action name ever is Steven Seagal's name in Under Siege, Casey Ryback.
Casey Ryback? In fact, that is an awesome name.
I'm naming my first son Casey Ryback.
Just name him Ryback. So Brodsky and his team, armed with like the most futuristic weapons known to man, are not able to take down one knife-wielding maniac. And Jason kills them all like fucking like Splinter Cell style. He's coming out of the shadow and he's like, and like drags him back into the shadows. Like, it's so not like Jason at all. And
who just normally comes straight at you.
He just barrels at you and stabs you because he can't get hurt. And he can't kill him. So then, Brodsky is supposed to be this awesome dude, and like Jason stabs him through a wall, and he's like, "It's gonna take more than one stab to put down this old dog." Yeah. So then he just stabs him again through the shoulder, and another spot. He's like, "That'll do it," and then he just falls over. I'm like, "What the fuck?" It's just god awful. So then, fast forward a little bit, some shit's going on, and then like they're cornered in because they're trying to get into an escape pod. They're cornered in this like shaft that goes to the escape pod, and the guy's android comes out, and he's like, "I upgraded her, and she knows how to kick ass now." So she's like doing ninja flips and shit, like kicking Jason apart, and then she shoots him in the head, and his head explodes.
Yeah.
Well, he just so happens to land right next to the nanotech stuff.
And that's how he gets.
And this is when the most dumb fucking thing in horror history happens. He comes back with like nanobot fucking metal mask, and he's all buff. So he can't even put his arms down. He's so buff.
So wait a minute. So now we have 3 movies that have ripped off Jason X. We have Leprechaun in Space.
Yes.
We have Prometheus, and we have Terminator Genesis, who have all ripped off Jason X.
Yes. So maybe this is a movie ahead of its time. So now he's all super buff, and he's got metal parts. And his machete, like, curves backwards for some reason. Like, because how a machete, like, curves.
This is the one that you
This is the one that goes this way like a hook with holes in it.
But this is the Jason that you could still, I mean, even, this is going to sound really pathetic. Really pathetic. But I bought a Halloween costume for my dog.
Okay. No, that's not pathetic.
No, it really is.
I know it really is.
And I went to Spirit Halloween store to get it.
Okay.
And they still had this Jason mask for sale at Spirit
the Jason X mask?
The Jason X one.
Yeah, because nobody's going to buy it. It looks terrible.
They've had it on sale for years.
Yeah.
Somebody must be, unless it's still from,
it might be that one mask.
2002, whenever this was released.
They're going to see if it sticks around for 400 years.
But they still have that for sale. Not the classic Jason, like you would think maybe, because they have some really realistic masks at these Halloween stores, man. Like they had Predator. There, I was considering buying it.
I've seen that one. It actually has like the dreads and all this shit on it. It looks good.
I was thinking if it wasn't like $75, I was thinking about buying it and setting up in my room.
Yeah.
In my man cave. But they still have that for sale. It's like $40.
I think it's the same one. Yeah. The next time you see it, you should find the date on the back of like when it was made.
Yeah.
It's like on the cardboard piece. It was like 2009.
When did this come out? Like what, 2003?
This had to be, in the early 2000s. So if that is the original mask, it has held up damn well over time.
But continue, Matt. I apologize.
Yeah, so now he's all super buff, and he's got metal mask and everything, and his weird knife, and he's now strong enough to take out the guy's android, so he cuts her head off, and, she's still alive, and the guy's like, I can fix you, because you're my lovely man. You're my sex bot. So, they then get, they're trying to blow up the whole ship, because that's the only way they figure they can kill him. And, of course, Brodsky's there.
He's still alive,
He's still alive. Brodsky shows up and he's like, I'll self-detonate it from the outside. But you're going to sacrifice yourself. He's like, I don't care. I'm Brodsky. Damn it.
I'm Brodsky.
They're like, just give me enough time. Keep him busy. So they have like this hollow like chamber.
Yeah.
And they put up like a holographic image of like Camp Crystal Lake.
Yeah.
And like he's just standing. It's funny because like it goes like it's generating. Jason's just standing there like, what the fuck is this shit? And it's just like these two women get out of a sleeping bag. They're like, hey, you want a party? We love drugs and premarital sex. And they just like take their tops off. And he's just like standing there like, what the it cuts away to them doing some sciencey shit, cuts back, and he's like he's got one tied up in a sleeping bag and the other one in a sleeping bag. He's like slamming them together. He's like whipping them down, like beating them with the and then he throws it down because like they're both dead, and he just like turns around and you can see the guys like regenerating it standing over there. They're like, he saw us. Like, well, that's a really terrible way of doing this. So he just
slamming them together in the sleeping bag.
It's great. You can always see the clip anywhere. But yeah, he says like, he saw this. So he just like turns and starts coming at him. So then like the escape pod shoots off. Brodsky detonates it. It blows up, and they're like, finally, he's dead. And they're like, wait, look. And then you see Jason, like, floating through space, like, coming out their escape pod. And at the last second, you see Brodsky, like, grab him, and then he just float off into space. They're just supposed to float off into space, and then you see him, like, catching fire because they're re-entering an atmosphere of a nearby planet.
Do you know both these shitty movies, Exorcist Begins and Jason X, came out the same summer, 2004?
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
June.
Bad year for horror movie.
I'm sorry. Theater release, April 26, 2002. DVD release was June 1st.
Okay.
Right.
Oh my god.
2002 was when this.
It was a bad year for horror movies.
Yeah. Is when this treasure came out.
And this is, I think this is the final nail in the coffin that New Line Cinema had with them, because then they sold the rights over, I think, oh, no, wait, no, maybe they kept it, because it was because of New Line that they were able to do the Freddy vs. Jason movie.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
Which was a success. It was a financial success.
Because I think it started, because I think Freddy was New Line and Jason was with Paramount. And then Paramount sold the rights to New Line, and then they started, like, because there was all the teasers, because there was, like, I think it was Jason 6 or 7, one of them. There was
Jason Goes to Hell is the one with Freddy.
Freddy's Claw. But there was another, like, Easter egg they had put in there where it was, like, a kid woke up, and he was like, I had this terrible nightmare. There was this guy, he was everywhere. I couldn't run away from him. And he said his name was Freddy, and they're like, well, who the hell is that? And I was like, okay, and there's a little Easter egg there. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's, well, Jason Goes to Hell, which is really bad. That's the one where the black guy has Jason's heart. They have just Jason's heart, and he just stares at it. Eats it.
I watch that movie every year because of how bad it is. I love it. And that guy, like, we can talk about it for a little bit if you want to, but like that guy that ate his heart, I thought he was actually eating a real heart. Like, he played it so well. Because like the voice, the fucking noises and the way he ate that thing, like he bit into that like a fucking homeless man that hadn't seen a Big Mac in years. He's just holding that, he's like, and he like rips it away and he's like looking to the side, he's like,
yeah.
And then the quickening happens and he's Jason.
Yeah. And he becomes Jason. And then that was one where it's just Jason's mask, and then you see Freddy's claw grab it.
And a cool note about Jason Goes to Hell is Kane Hodder played a security guard in that movie, but he was also Jason in that movie at the same time. He was one of the security guards that was guarding the room that the autopsy was getting taken in.
Okay.
Yeah. Because like as the guy who's now Jason, the black guy's leaving, he's like, so, he was like, so how's it going in there? Did you kill? Did you find out how hard we killed that son of a bitch? And it's just like, cause he's just walking and he says, son of a bitch. And like Jason just stops and turns and looks at him. And then it's like the news report's like 2 security officers dead.
Yes.
1 autopsy man missing. 1 doctor missing. That was also the same movie where, it was Case Files was the name of the news reporter show, and he was like, I'm personally going to offer, I forget, it was like Duke, there was the guy who was hunting Jason down. I was like, I'll personally offer him his sum of $500,000 to hunt and kill Jason once and for all.
It gets, I mean, Freddy...
It got so ridiculous as it went along.
Freddy and Jason both got really ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. Like, if I didn't think Jason Manhattan was the tip of the jumping the shark iceberg, like, fucking Jason X just took it to a whole nother level. But I feel like they brought it all back around when they did Freddy vs. Jason. I enjoyed that movie. Mm-hmm. I thought the way they intertwined the two of them to make it work went very well. It worked well.
Yeah, and then they did the Michael Bay produced.
I don't mind that one as much, but it's not a strong entrance.
They ruined Freddy with the Michael Bay.
Well, yeah, that Platinum Dunes company was just like fucking churning them out because they knew they could.
Yeah. And they're going to be churning them out again, apparently. They're rebooting both.
God damn it.
Again.
Well, I'll still go Friday. I'll see Friday the 13th again. The Exorcist, I don't have high hopes for them rebooting that well.
They will not.
It's going to be
before it's.
Yeah, it's going to be overly gory for no reason at all.
That movie came out in 1974. It's a classic. If they did, I wouldn't mind if they tried another stab at a proper sequel or a proper prequel.
Yeah.
But you don't touch the original Exorcist. That is, and I'm getting a little sick and tired. I'm getting physically sick.
Fueled up now.
I'm getting a little sick and tired of all these goddamn reboots. It's getting a little ridiculous.
Yeah, it's getting fucking ridiculous.
It's getting to the point where it's really, we get it. You have lost all creativity, Hollywood. And they're just producing these, like, I walked in, they were doing the trailer, they did the trailer in, the movie we just saw, The Last Witch Hunter 4, the Point Break remake, which is gonna be absolutely horrible.
Yeah, looks terrible. That's what I noticed. I mean, I know it's to make a quick buck, but honestly, if you can't do a decent, faithful remake to original source material, then just stop.
Yeah.
I'd rather you try and make something original that kind of is shitty, but at least it's something different I've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
At least I can give that for The Last Witch Hunter. It's something I haven't, I have seen something like it before, but it was an original story.
Yeah, it's original.
It sucked, but it was something I haven't seen before.
It's a brand new intellectual property. It was terrible,
And from the sounds of it, I think they're going to make a sequel the way it looks. Well, they left it open.
Yeah, they left it open, but I think it's bombing.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of shit that's bombed. It's got sequels.
Another thing they like to do, they like to take, because the Hunger Games and Harry Potter were, books written for kids and young adults, they're taking any book written for a kid and young adult, and they're just churning it out. You got this fucking Divergent bullshit, which I don't even know what the hell's going on with that. The fucking Maze Runner, Scorch Runner, Fire Runner, Water Runner, Sea-Doo Runner. They got all these fucking, runner movies. It's just nonstop shit churning out. If you can't find a young adult a novelization series, then go ahead and dig through the past and find a remake or find an original movie and remake it.
Right.
Getting a little annoying.
Yeah, it's fucking horrible.
So there's my little rant on that. And, what would you give Jason X? From what you just said, I'm going to give it a solid 5. That sounded like
I thought about, like, when I was rewatching it, I was like, what would I really grade this? And I think I give it a 6.5 just because it's one of those movies that, like, yes, it's bad, but you can watch it and have fun with it because of how bad, like, how ridiculous it is, and you can make, like, excellent drinking games out of this for a Halloween party if you wanted to.
Yeah, I watched this. The first time I saw it was actually a couple years ago. I was working at Comcast, had a terrible day at work because of the assholes I work with and the people I had to deal with. Thank God I don't work there anymore. But I came home. I started drinking by myself. This was on Cinemax, and I passed out watching it. So that's, I'm like I said, I kind of have some trouble remembering certain parts, but certain parts you had mentioned, I do recall.
Yeah.
And it sounds like a real treat. It sounds like
yeah, it's a treat. It's it's a good cheesy horror flick. Put it that way. If you want some cheese,
like they knew what they were making. And then
I know. I have. They had to have known what they were doing.
They can't be saying. They're
like, nobody went into this. They're like, man, this is the best Friday the 13th movie we've ever made.
The only one I really like is the original. And what's the one with Corey Feldman? as a little kid.
Oh, right. That was 5, I think.
Okay, there you go. That's the other one I've seen. I've seen Jason Takes Manhattan, where the one dude tries to box Jason.
Oh, yeah, that's funny. My favorite is actually, I think it's 6, Jason Lives, because that's when he came back as a zombie for the first time.
Okay.
Because that's where it starts. That's when the series, like, starts going off the rails. Because, like, now he's been dead for years, and lightning brings him back, and he somehow got super strength. He can't die. Like, it's great. And he somehow, like, for some reason, he was buried with, like, fucking, like, shop gloves on, and he gets a utility belt along the way. It's great. You gotta watch it. Alright, guys. That's it for this Ballbuster video. The next time we get in the studio to record, we're gonna talk about Pumpkinhead 2.
What was the other? Island of Dr. Moreau.
Yes.
That's a delightful.
A fantastic Val Kilmer movie.
Oh, yes. And, that's the, that Marlon Brando at his weirdest.
Yes, very weird.
And towards the end of his life, he really got weird, so.
Yeah, I think he was seeing shit by then. So, alright, well that's our review for this time, guys. If you want to find any of the videos that we put together, you can find them on YouTube at youtube.com/c/grindedword. You can check out Fred's blog at www.miserablemoviemafia.wordpress.com. You can find us on Facebook at both those things, Grinded Word and Miserable Movie Mafia. And you can get all of this first at grindcast.libsyn.com, and you can find us on iTunes and listen to us there. As always, thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you in the next episode.